My father's definitely a man of few words, but you clearly know where he stands.
My father, we grew up with a very strong Christian man. He made sure that we came to church and made sure that we needed stuff, and also just through his example of how he loved others really helps my walk with Christ.
My father's leadership, his walk with Christ has always been a strong, steady foundation for our family. My dad is definitely a doer. He's definitely not someone who has to speak up and make himself seen. He's definitely a worker. He works hard behind the scenes. Like I said before, he's just a strong example that you don't do things for your own attention, you do them for the glory of God. And it doesn't have to be huge things. It can be the smallest little things, either for your family, for your church, for your community. And he shows that example daily in his life. My whole life, he's always brought the whole family to church. He made it very clear that how important it was to attend church every Sunday.
We used to joke if the doors were open, we were going to be there. And it's such a strong example that we are putting that in our life and our routine, but also that he made it further than that. And it's not just because we need to come to church, but it was more of we do this because of all Jesus did for us.
I remember one time my father took us kids to a Rangers game, and I think the Rangers game, it was on a Saturday night in Dallas, and the Rangers game went for 22 or 24 innings. It was ridiculously long, like 7 hours long. We didn't even get home till like 3 or 4 in the morning, but we didn't even question if we were going to go to church the next morning because he had set a strong foundation. We know that whatever we did as a family on Saturdays, wherever he took us, however late we stayed out, that him and my mother, we were always at church the next morning. And that's something that's even impacts my walk with Christ as an adult and will probably continue to impact me forever.
The best way that my dad has shown Christ in his life to me is just with his unconditional love. There have been just like 1 or 2 times where I either made a huge mistake in my life or I knew I'd messed up and I thought that he would probably be super disappointed, maybe even disown me, but he always loved me through it no matter what. And on the flip side, even my most proud moments where I thought I either achieved success or had my first child where I thought, he would love me more, he didn't. He's always loved me the same. That's always been his unconditional love. And if that doesn't show Christ how he loves us, I think that's just the best example.
My father's dedication to our church, or to any church throughout our whole life, he always made it important to show us growing up that it was important to be involved, it was important to lead, it was important to step up, because if you didn't, who was? I do think it's kind of neat to see how he has led his children and how his children are here serving just in the way that he taught them. I also think it's kind of neat to see how his leadership as a father throughout the years is now impacting his grandchildren by how their parents, my siblings, are raising their children.
Definitely that example that he instilled in me, we continue to do with our children and make sure that they are at church, and not just come to church because we come to church, but because out of our relationship with Jesus, and that we should come worship him because we love him.
It just goes to show how having that strong, steady example given to you from your father does affect you your whole life. His example that he gave to me and my sister and my brother, I think it's quite clear that his impact will live on. When you have a strong father, it's definitely a generational blessing.